All right, let's go through the answers for Term 2, Week 8, online past exam questions. Let's go through question 3. This is 2002, question 3, VCAR. On a particular day, the temperature y in degrees Celsius can be multiplied by the da-da-da. Okay, so first thing to notice is that is a negative sine graph. So what you should already be able to tell is it looks, whoops, actually that's not a negative sine graph. This is a negative sine graph. And obviously the plus 9 just tells me it's translated up. So up by 9, yeah? And amplitude's 5, amplitude is 5. So you can already picture it's the same shape, just shifted up. And it says that T is in hours after midnight, which is 12 a.m. is your midnight. Maximum temperature for this particular day, and that's a keyword there. You're trying to find the maximum. And so maximum occurs, as you can see, this is where maximum would occur. And that is at 3 pi on 2, given that this is 2 pi, that is pi, and this is pi on 2. And because it's a sine graph, you know the maximum has to occur when t equals to 3 pi on 2. Not t, sorry, the theta angle has to go to 3 pi on 2. And so therefore, what you can see is now we want y equals to 9 minus 5 sine of pi t on 12. For it to be a maximum, we know the angle has to equal to 3 pi on 2, because that's what we said. We said that the maximum occurs at 3 pi on 2. So therefore pi t on 12, we need that to equal to 3 pi on 2. And if you multiply that, t equals times 12 on both sides, you get 36 pi on 2, and then divide both sides by pi, and you get 18. So what does that mean? It just means that after midnight, which is 12 a.m., it takes 18 hours to reach its maximum point. And if you know your 24-hour clock, 18 hours after midnight, 1800 is actually equivalent to 6 p.m. So it's D. Okay. Let's go to the next one now. Sum of solutions. I think this is 2004, question 8, or maybe it's 2002. I can't remember. But as soon as I see this, I would have gone right to the calculator and I would have typed in the solution cos of x on 2 equals to root 3 on 2, given that it's from 0 to 4 pi. And there we go. And it says sum of these solutions. So if you really think about it, it's just pi on 3 plus 11 pi on 12. I'm just going to copy this so that students who look at the PDF it'll make sense. So I'm just saying that the sum of these two has to equal 2. So sum of solutions, well, these are my solutions, and so therefore pi on 3 plus 11 pi on 3 gives you 12 pi on 3, which is really just 4 pi. There we go. Okay. And so depth of water, with the tide. So it almost sounds like it's a similar question to the first one. Same thing again. They purposely gave you a negative sine graph, so you know that, okay, so it looks something like this. Difference is it obviously has a horizontal translation. But it still has the same logic. That means that you want the angle to be at, again, pi 3 pi on 2 for it to occur at a maximum. Now it says a low tide occurred at midnight and the time of the next high. Okay, so they're just telling you that a low tide occurred at midnight, so from midnight, and you want to get to the next high tide. So if we calculate the 3 pi on 2, we're just saying 4 pi t on 25 plus pi on 2. Same thing again, we want it at a high tide. We want it to all equal to, this will be a maximum when sine of 3 pi on 2 will give you that maximum. That's when you get a maximum. So it only occurs when it's 3 pi on 2. So therefore, I'm just solving for this. Minus pi on 2 on both sides. Minus pi on 2 on both sides. And you get 4 pi t on 25 equals to pi. And times it by 25. No, don't do this to me. No. Why? Yes, I already mentioned that. Oh, you gotta be... No. Recover copy. Come on. Oh, are you serious? Anyways, the answer for this was 4 pi. Do it in calculator. There you go. Okay. Pi on 3 plus 11 pi on 3 equals 12 pi on 3, 4 pi. Okay. And then over here, as I was mentioning again, it's negative sine. So therefore, we know our graph maximum occurs at 3 pi on 2. That's when sine, negative sine of 3 pi on 2 will give you the highest point it could have. Okay, so therefore what you want is you want the inside, you want the inside to actually equal to, so this whole entire thing has to equal to 3 pi and 2. And that's where I was up to before. I'm saying, okay, 4 pi t on 25 plus pi on 2 needs to equal to 3 pi on 2, and minus pi on 2 on both sides, you get pi, and that's 4 pi t on 25, and therefore t equals to 25 pi on 4 pi. Cancel out the pi's, and that's 6 1/4. So 6 1/4 hours is actually 6 hours and 15 minutes. And that's your hours after midnight to reach to the high tide, the next high tide, so it'll be at 6:15 a.m. Yeah. There we go. Yes, should be B, I'm pretty sure. All right, so we got D, B, wait, no, D, B. I think I got the order of the questions mixed up. Oh well. Here we go, next question. This one, sine function f has an amplitude 3, so amplitude 3, and it's a sine function sine, and your period is 1/10. So remember the formula was 2 pi on n, and we want it to equal to 1/10. So therefore n must equal to times 10 on both sides, and that gives you 20 pi. So it has to be 20 pi t. Okay, and so the only one that corresponds to that would be B. Yes. Okay, so it couldn't have been this. Amplitude's off, period's off, period's off. Okay. Next one, this is graphic translation. So we're reading this. This is dilation factor 5 from the x-axis because you're affecting your y values, and this one's dilation of factor 3. Oh, sorry, factor 1/3 from the y-axis. Okay. And that's all we really have. So that gives us C. From the x... Oh wait, no, is it C? No, it's not C. It is not C. It should be dilation of factor. So from the x, dilation of factor 5, so it's E. So be careful there, don't make the mistake I did. Be careful, dilation from x and y does matter. So it's E, and then 6 number solutions to this. I guess if we look at this, this is like saying half cos 2x equals 1, and then cos of 2x equals 2, and then 2x equals cos inverse of 2, which at this point you should realize that this is not possible. Not possible to solve because the domain of cos inverse is equivalent to the range of cos of x, and we know the range of cos of x is from -1 to 1, so it's impossible to have 2. So this would have no solutions. Okay, you can visualize this graph as the amplitude is half, so it only goes up and down by half, and that's -half, and it's got a period of pi. Okay, but the question's asking when will you cross at 1? Well, y equals 1 and that function never crosses because the graph will always be below, so there's no solutions to it. Okay, logically, if we were to sketch this graph. And then on to the last one, question 7. Actually, we did this in class already, but you know, if you want to find the period, you can already see this is one cycle and it's 7 pi on 4. Find the difference, see how far they are. And you can see it's 4 pi on 4 gives you pi. And have I answered all 7 questions? Yes, I have. Okay, so pi gives you the answer of C. Now, I might have gotten the order of the questions wrong, but you know, that's how I would have solved each one. Yeah, cool. So that's my first video for the Term 2 Week 8 solutions, and I will do my best to maintain this for you guys all the way till the end of year. Okay, so you get some videos and solutions, and hopefully you can always refer to these and help yourself study. Good luck. I'm gonna end the video right now.